Hi everybody, have a beautiful Sunday. My name is Rainer and welcome to my channel, Rainierbooks. My weekly wrap-ups, I present you with the things that I've read last week, with the things that I plan to start reading or continue reading during the next week, my little projects that I'm doing, and always something about the world around us. So now I'm going to talk about week 48 that lies just behind us. Let's get started. This week I managed actually, and I'm really happy to have done that, to have achieved that, because my reading was not so good. I was in a reading slump the last couple of weeks. That's why I started reading not one book, but two, three, four, five books altogether, and I'm listening to a sixth right now, but I'm going to tell you a little more about it. But I actually finished one book, so that made me very happy. And the one I finished is the winner of the National Book Award of 2020, the current winner, the title holder, Charles Yu, and his beautiful novel, Interior Chinatown. Interior Chinatown is an amazing book. I'm not going to say so much more about it because I did this as a buddy read with my friend Paula from Draw Your Book, and we are going to do a couple of in-depth videos about this amazing novel by Charles Yu, Interior Chinatown. Still read Aravand Adiga's novel Amnesty, about a young cleaner from Sri Lanka who is living illegally in Sydney, Australia, and who is in a very interesting triangle relationship, not sexual from his side, with two people who have emigrated from India to Australia, a woman named Radha and another guy named Prakash. And Radha gets killed, and Danny sits on information that is probably going to help the police to solve the case. But when he steps forward, he's going to lose his status as an illegal in Australia, and he risks of having to go back to Sri Lanka. So what is he doing? I don't know, but it's a very interesting book that is written in with flashbacks, but mostly written within the clock of a day. So the clock is ticking, and we always get to know what Danny is doing, and then we have flashbacks to the years he has lived as an immigrant and of things that have happened in the past that are important for the content and for the situation of Danny and for the case that has emerged, the killing of Radha. I'm still reading Anne Applebaum's Twilight of Democracy, about her an analysis of the situation in Poland, in Hungary, in the United States. I haven't gotten that far last week, only read a few pages because I was more focused on finishing Charles Yu, Interior Chinatown. I was at the library because I discovered a book that I didn't know about. I want to do more top 10 videos, which I did 1.5 of them last week, which you might have seen. One about crime novels that you might read for Christmas or that you might give away as a present to your loved ones. One with five, in my eyes, the 5 most interesting true crime books of 2020. And I'm really interested in these kind of top 10 things because we're all attracted by them in a certain way. It's always a showcase for literature, and I don't know why these rankings are so interesting to us. I am interested myself, and I found that The Guardian has done a lot of literature rankings over the last couple of years, and I found actually one ranking where they had the 10 best books about Tokyo, a city that I had the honor and the possibility to visit twice in my life, in 2015 and 2019. And one of the books that were mentioned there as being the best, probably the best depiction of Tokyo written by a foreigner, not by a Japanese author, is David Mitchell's novel Number 9 Dream that I got from the library here. We are not supposed to visit libraries. I visit them very shortly. I still go to Fruengen, which is about 2 kilometers away from here, and reserve books So they put them on a shelf there, and two people are allowed to go in at the same time into the library to pick books from the shelves, to sort of book them into the system and get out again. So I think that's kind of safe to go there, and that's why I still use this library. So that's where I got David Mitchell's novel, Number 9 Dream. I got something in my mailbox, because I ordered it about 2 weeks ago, and I have seen the guy now in a lot of TV programs. He was on Jimmy Kimmel. He was even in German television with Markus Lanz. He was in Swedish television with Fredrik Skavlan. So he did a lot of marketing, and he was at the Stephen Colbert, the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and you know who I'm talking about. Probably the bestseller of the Christmas season this year. I'm talking about Barack Obama's biography, A Promised Land, that was published on November 17. It finally arrived here, 750 pages, which is, I've actually thought about getting the audiobook, because he's reading that, and you can listen to him like for 25 hours or something. But I actually thought, okay, because I'm not the audiobook kind of guy. I think that's, I listen to audiobooks, but audiobooks always bring a certain difficulty for me, because to absorb myself from the world to 100%, or let's say 95%, which I think is necessary to get the most of an audiobook, is sort of impossible for me. And that's why I miss a lot when I listen to audiobooks, because when my brain and my mind is wandering and I think of something else, because I walk somewhere and I see a school or I see a person or whatever, and I think of something, then I get lost. The book is distancing itself from my mind, and then I lose something, and that's always difficult to get. So I actually decided to buy the hard copy of Barack Obama's book. I began writing this book shortly after the end of my presidency, after Michelle and I had boarded Air Force One for the last time and traveled west for a long, deferred break. The mood on the plane was bittersweet. Both of us were drained, physically and emotionally, not only by the labors of the previous 8 years, but by the unexpected results of an election in which someone diametrically opposed to everything we stood for had been chosen as my successor. Still, having run our leg of the race to completion, we took satisfaction in knowing that we'd done our very best, and that however much I'd fallen short as president, whatever projects I'd hoped but failed to accomplish, the country was in better shape now than it had been when I'd started. For a month, Michelle and I slept late, ate leisurely dinners, went for long walks, swam in the ocean, took stock, replenished our friendship, rediscovered our love, and planned for a less eventful but hopefully no less satisfying second act. And by the time I was ready to get back to work and sit down with a pen and yellow pad, I still like writing things out in longhand, finding that a computer gives even my roughest drafts too smooth a gloss and lends half-baked thoughts the mask of tidiness. I had a clear outline of the book in my head. Oh my God, the man has written everything, 759 pages by hand before he put it into a computer. That's incredible. So it's very good, doesn't it? The thoughts of Barack Obama of the last 4 years. I'm told that this book ends with the killing of Osama bin Laden, the man who was actually behind 9/11. I have to deliver Shuggie Bain back to the library very soon, because someone is waiting for the book and I don't want to make that person wait much longer as necessary. So I will not have the opportunity to read it because I don't own it. It's from the library in Stockholm, and actually it comes from Fryingens Bibliotek. That is actually the library I'm walking to very often. So I have to deliver it back actually next week on Monday or Tuesday by the latest. But what I did was I bought this book as an Audible book, and I have started listening to the first 2 chapters of Shuggie Bain because I'm working in my kitchen. I'm doing a little freshening up in the kitchen. sorting out things, old things and new things, and making it all a little more tidy and beautiful. And while I do that, I listen to Shuggie Bain. I will do a little more of in my apartment over the next couple of weeks, I thought, because I might have the opportunity to move into a very new apartment. We're gonna see if that works out. So I thought, while cleaning here and sorting out things a little bit, at least, I might listen to Shuggie Bain. That's what I'm doing. So this was a lot about the books. I also still have, but I didn't get too much to it either, another nonfiction read, which is The Future is History by Masha Gessen, about how totalitarianism, it's a difficult word, how totalitarianism regained power and came back to power in Russia. Masha Gessen with another brilliant book. I am convinced about that, although I only finished like 5% of that book. It's a very, it's also a very thick one, very, very big one at least. So these were the books that I'm reading. But then I have different kinds. I want to do another top 10 list probably because the New York Times has published their top 10 favorites of 2020. And as usual, they pick 5 works of fiction and 5 works of nonfiction. And Greg from Supposedly Fun has made a reaction video on that top 10 list, which I link down below. He has already talked about them, so I thought it wasn't worth doing the same video, the same kind of video, because Greg has far more subscribers than I have, and he reaches all the people. I'm sure you all subscribe to his amazing channel. One of the books that appears on that top 10 list of the New York Times is A Children's Bible by Lydia Millett. And this really makes me think why so few people have actually talked about this book, A Children's Bible. And I absolutely want to read it over the Christmas holidays. I still don't know how much I will be free from work. Maybe I take 2.5 weeks, hopefully up to 3 weeks, waiting for the vaccine, as we all are, and just sit here in my beautiful apartment and read as much as I can do. So, and then one of the books would definitely be A Children's Bible. But coming back to the top 10 list of the New York Times, the New York Times has a selection of 100 books. And among those 100 books, there are a lot of works of fiction. And out of that list, I thought I curate my own selection. And I will do that as a video in the next week. I also intend to do another video, which is the top 5 under 35. The National Book Foundation has, as you might know, every year since I think 2013 or 14, they publish a list of top 5 under 35 authors with the names of authors that they think are coming authors that will sort of rise up to the heaven of literature, of contemporary literature in the United States. And they have a very interesting list of 5 women actually in this year. 5 under 35. I will take a closer look at this list and I will present those 5 women to you in one of my videos over the next 2 weeks probably. I have started with the first author. I just finished my buddy read with Paula, and we're going to do a set of videos, as I said, about interior Chinatown that will come very soon over the course of the next week, I guess, as well. Which opens up for the next buddy read. I have with Courtney Farrader, I have a deal that we are going to read Leave the World Behind by Ruman Alaam. So this is the next buddy read that I'm doing. And Courtney and I are going to read Leave the World Behind. We haven't decided yet how we are going to let the world know, leave the world behind, let the world know about our discussion, but we are going to make up something. I'm very sure about this. Another buddy read that I'm going to do and that we haven't scheduled yet is the 392 by Ashley Hickson-Lovence, which I'm going to read with Ellie from Ellie's Little Library, one of my favorite channels. I'm going to put a link down below to her channel, as well as to Courtney and to Paula, of course, and another buddy read after that, so not all at the same time, will be with Karen from Karen Evans. I'm going to read Burnt Sugar by Avni Doshi, a little late maybe for the Booker Prize, but I'm so happy that I can read, do a buddy read for the first time with Karen as well, one of my favorite BookTube channels. So that was all for today. Thank you very much for watching this video. A returning subscriber to the channel, I thank you so much for coming back and being loyal to this channel and to my books, the Rainierbooks here behind me, beside me. If you are new to the channel, please consider to subscribe if you like what you see and what you hear, because you can help me grow the channel and you can get a for free notification when the next video will be published. So, as always in 2020, and probably also for a few months into 2021, maybe 5, 6, 7 months in, I say, please wear a mask. Please don't get too close to people that you don't live in your household. And save yourself and save others. We have to get through this together. We will do it. Thank you very much. Have a great Sunday and bye-bye.